All right, I'm back with another Chatty Work with Me. Today's topic, eBay, specifically shipping, but I'm sure I'm going to go off on tangents, and some personal stuff on the second half, just updates on life and some other business stuff. So I've got my timer. It's going to be 45 minutes working today and a 15-minute break at the end. So, whoops. I've got to do the countdown for the screen. All right, so we're going to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 45 minutes. Let's go. All right, so first up, I am swapping bins from these black bins that are, a lot of them are broken, I've had for over 3 years, to these bins, which I got from a family member. And I do have labels for the bins, but beautiful hawks. They're screaming right now and they're chasing each other. Red-tail hawks. I wish I could show you. But noisy little guys. So I have these little, I don't have Post-it notes. So I just grabbed some notes. This is actually like a little slab of butter. That's what it's supposed to be like. But anyways, all right. We are just going to write a whole bunch of these. So eBay. I can't tell you how many people send me messages saying, I want to start selling on eBay, but the shipping is complicated. The listing is complicated. I've heard that there are scammers. I've heard that things don't sell for as much. There's just a list of things that people tell me all the time. And all platforms are imperfect, so there may be some truth to all of that. But I think the number one thing that keeps people from trying eBay is how to figure out shipping, if they are specifically coming from a platform like Poshmark. And I've also had people message me, I sell on eBay, I do really well, is it worth cross-listing to Poshmark? So I thought I would just kind of talk a little bit about that. eBay shipping does not have to be hard in the beginning. I think over time you probably want to fine tune it, but to start, it can be as simple as Poshmark if you make it that way. Now, what do I mean by that? I can't do the alphabet and talk at the same time. A, B, C, I already have a C. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. We'll just stop there. So what I did when I started eBay, I did not have a scale. I did not do any shipping outside of Poshmark, and I didn't know what I was doing. And it can be overwhelming to start, but what I ended up doing, and it worked for me for a couple months, was I stuck with what I knew. And what I already knew with Poshmark, the supplies I already had with Poshmark were the free priority shipping supplies. Now, is it smart to ship out a t-shirt that weighs half a pound in a priority envelope? It's a little steep because it can be a lot cheaper if you send it first class, but I started listing on Poshmark with every single item as priority flat rate, padded flat rate, medium box if it was a pair of shoes, etc. And people eventually started buying from me. It didn't take that long. Now, here's a common misconception, or a lot of people I think come to me and say, I've been listing some of my stuff on eBay for 3 months and I barely get any sales, and I sell a lot more on Poshmark, and I just don't think it's worth it. It took me a good 6 months of consistently listing on eBay before I started seeing consistent results. It is a finicky platform with a complex algorithm is what it appears. All right, D, E, F, G. All right, whatever. And I think that it is, you hear all sorts of people talking about this is how you should do it on eBay and this is how you shouldn't do it on eBay and all of this kind of stuff. And to be honest, on most of these platforms, if you just keep listing and you keep reasonable pricing, things will eventually sell. Now, the problem that I faced cross-listing to eBay was I would cross-list, let's say 10 items to eBay one day, and then I would remove 5 items that sold on Poshmark. And so I felt like I was always removing a lot more on Poshmark. In fact, I was just talking to someone the other day and they said, yeah, Courtney, I mean, you seem to sell a lot more on eBay, but I'm kind of the opposite problem. it took me 6 months to a year before eBay started competing with my sales on Poshmark. And it was just consistent cross-listing and getting more experience with the platform. So I don't think eBay is an overnight platform. And I don't think really any of them are, but I think eBay specifically, you almost have to kind of earn a little bit of something before you get that consistency. But, all right, I'm covered in dust, but we're just gonna make it work. I have a bin here with B. So if it were me telling my friend or family member how I would start on eBay, I would say keep it as simple as possible. This may be loud. I don't have a lot of these bins with plastic anymore because most of that stuff is sold, but I would say keep it as simple as possible. Don't overthink things. Don't overdo it. Just get on the platform, get familiar with listing, and then move on. I think over time, as you get more and more comfortable with the platform, you then start wanting to make some improvements. It took me a year before I ran any promotions or ran any sales because I didn't know how to do it. All right. There we are. So because that platform is catering to a wide variety of sellers, and like you can sell a car on eBay, you can sell pretty much anything there. Because it's catering to so much variety, there are a lot of options. There are a lot of choices when listing and when choosing shipping. But if you're doing clothing primarily, keep it simple. I would say this probably is right at about 15 ounces. if I just had to guess. It's kind of a scuba material. It's a little bit heavier. 14, 15 ounces. This is under a pound. This can ship first class. But I did not have a scale when I started shipping on eBay. So I didn't know how to weigh anything. So I would have shipped this in a padded flat rate envelope, which if you buy all your labels on eBay, which I personally recommend, I just hit the mic, sorry about that. I personally recommend, they have a padded flat rate envelope for $8.20 or whatever the rate is right now. So this may be a little heavier. This may be a pound. Again, if you're new, just use a padded flat rate. If you are more tenured and you have a scale and you know how to do shipping, you can maybe do a different option. So it can be complicated, but if you already have the supplies for Poshmark, padded flat rate envelopes, the envelope, you know, the slightly smaller ones that don't have any padding. The Tyvek mailers are a little complicated because those you actually do need to go by weight. Those aren't a flat rate. So anything that says flat rate on them, I would just use those personally. All right. We're moving on to D. I think that, and you guys can leave comments below, I think the majority of people that are scared of eBay are scared for a number of reasons, and it seems like it's a lot to overcome. So what I would say is I do think a cross-listing service is helpful because then it easily transfers your photos over, especially for older stuff. But I would say if it were me, take some of that old stuff on Poshmark, cross-list it using a cross-listing service. A lot of them have free trials, or you could just pay for a month and just give it a month. Give it a month and just say, I'm going to give this a fair shot. I'm going to make some mistakes. I think that's the biggest thing everyone should go into it is you're probably going to make mistakes, and it's okay. It might cost you, you know, a new shipping label or whatever, but we all made the mistakes and we learned. Let's see. But give it a month and start with some of the older stuff because that's stuff that's not moving for you. And you can use that cross-listing service to just easily cross-list it. Now, I would say the biggest challenge that I faced, and maybe you guys will face it as well. This is D. All right. Is removing stuff if it's sold on another platform. This is kind of the other excuse I hear from a lot of people. Not excuse, but like question. What do you do if something sells on both platforms at the same time? I've sold over 4,000 items on Poshmark, probably 3,500 on eBay. That has never happened except for 2 times I forgot to remove something that had sold, and you know, months later it would sell on another platform, which is my own error. It's not that it happened in the same night or the same day or the same moment. All right, we're gonna focus. We're on E. E. Can't mess up my inventory. So be prepared for that mistake. Now, when that happens, what do you do? In my opinion, if you sold it on Poshmark and then you accidentally forget to remove it on eBay and it sells on eBay, send the eBay buyer a note and just explain. Be honest, be humble. It's completely fine. We're doing F. Tell them that you've misplaced the item or you already sold the item, whatever the problem is, whatever you're encountering, send them a message and offer to cancel the sale for them, or do they want something else in your eBay store as a replacement. I have done this quite a few times. It's either I can't find items because maybe I donated it or something like that, but you know, you just, things sometimes go missing. Or it's sold on another platform and I forgot to remove it. If you just communicate with the buyer, you give them 2 options, 99% of the time they will just say, just go ahead and cancel it. And on eBay, there is an option that said buyer asked to cancel, which doesn't dock or penalize your account. So that's what I do. I give them an option. They almost always choose cancel. Sometimes they'll say, oh, actually there's this other item I like. I think that's only happened once, maybe twice. So it's not, you know, but I think that just be prepared that it might happen and just have a plan. Okay, if this happens, what am I gonna do? Now on Poshmark, if it's flipped, you sell something on eBay and you forget to remove it on Poshmark, you don't really get penalized as of right now. Maybe they'll change things down the road. You don't really get penalized. So for me, I would just like if I'm missing an item, I would just send the buyer a little comment and say, I am so sorry, this happened. Is there something else you'd want? Or I can just go ahead and cancel. Same thing. All right, F. All right, we have 3. We have to get down. So it's just, I think, again, if you don't want to sell on eBay, don't sell on eBay. Just don't. If you're killing it on Poshmark, great. The reason I want to cross list, the reason I want to be on 2 platforms, if something happens to Poshmark, recently sales dropped for a lot of people, I had the comfort and the cushion of eBay. If something happens to eBay, I have the comfort and cushion of Poshmark. But it took time, you know? None of it happened overnight for me. So if you're willing to go in, give it a month and then try a second month and then try a third month. In my opinion, give it a full 6 months before ruling it out, because you can sell internationally with eBay. The listing gets easier, the shipping gets easier, everything gets easier. And then what you realize is, oh, I actually like a lot of these things that I can choose from on eBay that Poshmark doesn't allow us to do, like running a sale or something. So let's move this. And this also really can apply to, which one was that? That one was I? Yes. Let's see, where are we at? This one is H. We're gonna do H. these kind of get stuck together. So I guess for me, if I've been selling on eBay a shorter amount of time, there is no sharing requirements or community requirements on eBay. I've figured out how to list, and I make more money with less work. Was it worth the 6 to 12 months to get things up and running? I think so, personally, and I like the security. I also just like some of the options that eBay has, but in the beginning, it was a little much. So let's see, I wrote down some notes. So the priority mailers, if you're new and you don't have a scale and you don't ship anywhere else besides Poshmark, priority mailers, start there. List items, use that selection. There are plenty of people that have videos on how to list on eBay. So I feel like that's just easy YouTube videos. It's not really my thing. Maybe, yeah, it's not really my thing, but part of it is just starting, just doing it. Once you get comfortable with just the listing and just being on the platform and maybe have a few sales, then maybe you can go in and start editing the shipping if you get a scale and if you are more comfortable with doing first class, which is easy breezy once you get used to it. eBay complaints. So what are some of the eBay complaints that people have? I've got 5 million that I could choose from. Let's see. I like these new bins. They're bigger, but they're also a little bit more harder to maneuver. These are all dusty, especially the top ones, because it gets dusty in here. All right. All right, eBay complaints and concerns. Scams. I've sold over 3,500 items. Never had a scam. I've had some bad buyers, but I've had bad buyers on Poshmark. So is a scam possible? Yeah, it's also possible on Poshmark. So I think that if you see a YouTube video and someone's saying they got, scammed, they're probably happened. It definitely happens to people, but they're also trying to make content. I did a video one time on my first item not as described, also known as INAD. And it was because I knew it would get people to click on it because people are curious about that topic. But it doesn't happen all the time. It's happened to me once. Twice? No, the INAD, item not described. I think it's only happened like 3 times. So 1 out of every 1,000, something around there. But it's not often. I think I was concerned about not having feedback. Would those scammers go after me? I don't know. I think that, which one is this? This is, did I not? I didn't write a G. I didn't. I don't know how to do the alphabet. So, don't ever say it's never going to happen, but the majority of eBay sellers I know, it's not an ongoing thing. If it happens, it's once a year or something like that. Now, bad customer service is another one that I hear all the time. All right, this is G, as in George. We need to do more of these little tape labels. I really wish I had Post-it notes, but sometimes you just have to make do. It's 30 minutes into town to buy some, so no thank you. Oh, it's already on there. Oh my gosh, Courtney. Get it together. Jeez, Louise. All right. Hopefully the audio is okay and I'm not hitting the mic too much. This one is J. We have J. Let's remember that I put this on. So, bad customer service. That's one that I hear a lot of. I don't know. Poshmark is sided with the buyer. eBay is sided with the buyer. I've lost money if someone does a return for a false item not described. Most of these platforms do side with the buyer, in my experience, a lot of the time. But eBay has sided with me. eBay does have some seller protections that have protected me from negative feedback when it was left inappropriately. And they've always been super nice. So I also love the fact that you can call eBay. I'm not even a big phone person, but it's just that immediate, you get to talk to someone right away. When COVID hit, they switched from you could call to you would go in and put your info in and they would actually call you back. So that's like the one thing that's changed in the last couple of years, but they call usually within 5 minutes, usually in less than a minute or two. So it's quick. All right, J, we already have it on there. So can you have a bad customer service agent? Sure. I'm not going to say it's not possible, but maybe it's because I have done customer service that I'm just, I don't know, a lot more. I always try to be nice. If I'm nice to them going into it, I usually feel like we're starting off on the right foot. The customer service agent isn't the person that's, you know, ruined your life. If it's a bad buyer, you know, they're just taking your information. And if they do have to tell you that they've got, you know, that you have to accept the return or whatever the case is, it's still just not their fault. I don't necessarily blame them. So I personally have not had a bad customer service experience with eBay. Again, 3 years, it's been super easy. All right, just a little time update. When we get to the 15-minute mark, then I'll switch off this topic because I don't want to bore you guys. And I think it's more interesting to talk about what's going on to mix it up. And for anyone who stays for the second half of the video. So anyways, I don't know. I think maybe it's because on Poshmark you don't talk to someone, you just get an email. Usually it's a standard email that's just copy and paste. That maybe it just feels less personal with Poshmark. I don't know. But I wouldn't let customer service scare someone away from doing eBay, personally. All right. Okay. I really love the fact that this is how I wrote K. My handwriting is worse and worse as I get older. My oldest sister, who's a teacher, she said it's because I'm moving too fast and I'm lazy. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm impatient. That's what older sisters are for, to put you in check, right? All right, there's K. We are making progress. It is starting to get dark and colder. All right, we need to write some more. I think I'm all out. So, returns, that's a big one. Oh man, the amount of people, when I say I wouldn't mind if Poshmark had returns as an option, the amount of people that send me very strong opinions against that, it's just crazy. Someone said one time, I'm not Amazon, I'm a small business owner, so accepting returns isn't feasible for me. It's like, well, I'm a small business owner. I'm just one person. I accept returns on eBay and it's never a problem. There's a button to just relist immediately and I just have to put it back in inventory. It's super quick. So, yeah, I've talked about returns as like just buyer preference. I shop on eBay because I like the ability. Not every eBay seller has to use returns either. You can choose not to allow returns. I just think the amount of people that will return, I never do free returns. The buyer pays return shipping both ways. So I don't lose any money. It's just a little extra time and it's very rare when it happens. You know, one return every week or two, max. It's usually every like 2 weeks I'll get a return. You know, that's 1 out of every 50 or 1 out of every 70. That's, I mean, I haven't done the math. I'm sure I think my return rate is 2.5% or something. So what does that make it? That's like 1 out of every 50. Yeah, right around there. So, returns aren't required on eBay. I did not do returns in the beginning until I went to eBay Open. I need to focus because we're already losing light and I'm already making progress. I met someone at eBay Open and she sold women's clothing, and she was the one that kind of convinced me, yeah, I barely get any and I don't lose any money because I just have it set so that the buyer pays shipping both ways. And it's kind of like they pay to kind of try it on and see if they like it. And it's just so easy. It's just, yeah. So I don't know. I think for me, it works. It may not work for you, but you don't have to do it on eBay. It's just an option. Listing is complicated. Yes. Although they do have a new listing page that is a little more simplified, but there are more options because there are more people wanting to search by maybe a neckline or, you know, I don't know, any sort of style, any sort of specific thing, material or anything like that. So they want to make it as search friendly as possible for buyers. And with that comes more stuff you have to fill in. There are required fields and suggested fields. I do required, and every once in a while I'll add some suggested, but honestly, if you just stick to required, then you're fine. And it'll tell you which ones are required with some sort of star or something like that. Okay, LMNOP. We've got that's a terrible O. Like, what is that? That's not even an O. P. Let's do Q, and we'll stop there. So listing is more complicated than Poshmark, absolutely. But it's just like learning any new site, platform, there's a learning curve. And you don't have to fill everything in. The more you fill in, the more it's searchable. So, you know, it doesn't hurt to fill things in. And I don't know, I just remember it was terrible at first. I'm not gonna lie, it was terrible at first. It was new. I don't like new stuff. I don't have patience, as you can see by my handwriting. I don't think that should stop someone from trying. It just, okay, it's gonna take me a month to get in this groove. It's gonna be pretty annoying and awkward. If you go in with that mindset, then it's gonna happen, and then you're gonna move on, and it's gonna get easier every time you do it. So, and same as shipping. Shipping is, the worst thing is when you make a shipping mistake and you yourself have to eat the cost. It's the worst thing. It's going to happen once, twice, maybe 3 times. And if you go in with the mindset of, you know, I'm probably going to make a mistake or two, it might cost me $4, $5, $6, then so be it. My first item I shipped, because I didn't know how to do labels on eBay, because I had zero patience, because it's me. Let's see, we're doing L. I had a pair of Free People shorts. They sold for they were listed on Poshmark for over a year. They sold on eBay within a couple days of me listing, only for like 15 bucks. Who cares? Get them out. They weren't a high dollar item, which is totally fine. All right, we got to do L. I don't know why my nose is itchy. I think it's because wildflowers are starting to bloom. Things are starting to bloom. So allergies. I don't really have bad allergies, but you know. Anyways, so I didn't know how to do the label on eBay. I didn't want to Google it. I was just impatient. I'm just going to go to one of those mailbox stores and I'm just going to have them ship it out. I did that. The guy at the store said he could only ship something first class if it was under 12 ounces. And I was like, no, but everyone on eBay says you can ship it first class if it's under a pound. And this was like 14 ounces or something like that. He said, sorry, our computer system only lets us do it up to 12 ounces. I was like, okay, well, what is that going to cost me? So I charged her for, I don't remember what I charged. Oh, that was when I heard someone say do free shipping. And so I think like the first 20 listings I did, I increased the price of the item, but then I did free shipping. And that did not work for me. I tried it for like a hot second, never went back. I personally would never do free shipping again on my items. But so it was like a $15 sale. I thought the cost was going to be like $5-ish. A friend of mine who sold on eBay said, oh yeah, that's going to be like around $5 first class. So when all was said and done, he ended up shipping it priority, and it ended up being $7.50 or $8 or something like that. Oh, it was more than that. It was because they didn't have the discount that eBay has. So it ended up being like $8. Basically, after fees, I only made like, and after the cost of goods, I only made like $1 or $2, if that. And it was really depressing. I'm like, if this is what I'm getting on eBay, why am I spending all this time cross-listing and getting started? So yeah, that was annoying as all could be. These are really heavy. Oh geez. So, you know, was that a successful first sale? I think so. I had a sale. The woman was really polite. She, I sent her a message because I felt like it was delayed, or I didn't know how to add tracking or something like that. And she was super nice. Oh my gosh. This is stuck in there. So she was so nice, but it was pretty discouraging at first. But I don't know. I think that I have a friend who's got about the same amount of inventory, and she's been on Poshmark about the same amount of time as me. And when I add up my eBay sales and my Poshmark sales, I'm almost double what she's coming in with just Poshmark. Now, because I'm selling things on eBay, I removed them from Poshmark. They maybe could have sold on Poshmark. So it does start to skew things, but I don't know. Over time, I think it's really paid off for me personally. All right, is this M? No, this is O. Whoopsie. We're going backwards. Because, why is this so hard? All right, this is O. So it's not like you're going to start listing on eBay and magically overnight you're going to be making what I've been making. When I share, you know, my weekend sales on eBay, I sold 16 items and I only sold 5 on Poshmark. Could those items have sold on Poshmark? Yeah, most of them, but they sold quicker on eBay, and everything I have is listed on both platforms for the most part. So personally, I think if you want to make more money and you don't want to increase your inventory, or you want more options, I don't know. I'm much more eBay, team eBay. Poshmark is just too easy for me. And also with easiness comes a lot more people listing there and a lot more people dropping off because their sales aren't happening. Whereas if it's a little more complicated, if you take the time to learn, it does weed out a lot of people, in my opinion. So I'm team eBay. I think everyone can do it. So many people have learned, even when it was much harder. And yeah, so that's it for eBay. That's about half of our time. And we're moving on to non-eBay talk. What's new in my world? In case you are wondering. Right behind you, maybe I'll put a picture on the screen, is a new garden tractor. My other one, I bought used when I first moved here. And it was a good starter, but it had some problems. And let's see, we're doing N next. I feel like these are not going to stay. It's only a temporary thing. It's going to be much nicer in the long run. All right. So garden tractor, that's exciting. For fire clearance and for weeds, we don't have grass here. It's the Il Naturel thing that we do. For fire clearance, you have to get your weeds cleared by June 1st, and then you have to keep them cleared through the season. So it is a well-used machine. So that's an exciting thing. Weather, we had a couple nice days, but this weekend it's going to be rainy and snowy and cold. So it's just that weird springtime, almost springtime, but we still get some moments of winter. I think the last few years we've had snow into May. I think one year we had some snow in June. Not a lot of snow, but some. So oh, this one was heavy. So, and this is my M. This is my M. So yeah, it's been nice. I've been wearing my Birkenstocks, but I need to put my boots back on for the next few days. What else? Taxes. Jeez. Well, it does help to have a dad who is retired but was a CPA. I still have to keep all my numbers in check. I use Self-Employed, the app. It keeps track of all my expenses, business expenses, my mileage. It just connects with every time I drive. It's really, really helpful. It costs like 10 bucks a month or something like that. I'm sure I have a code down below. Love it, but you do have to go in. You should do it through the year. I don't do it often enough, but you have to go in and basically like, is this personal? Is this business? And basically mark things. You swipe. It's kind of like a dating app, but with your finances. So I've got to go through, kind of make sure I finish all that and get that stuff to my dad, which, man, oh man. And I've got business expenses for reselling, for YouTube, for all three of my channels. Some real estate business expenses. Which one is this? Oh, geez. All right, this is a good workout. I started today with yoga. I'm ending tonight with leg day. All right, which one is this? P. So, taxes. I don't know what to say about it. People ask me all the time, can I recommend someone? I personally would never use anyone online, ever. I would find someone local in your area and someone who has maybe worked with some self-employed people. Specifically, online sales would be helpful. But my dad never did that, and he figured it out for me. So, yeah. But I personally would never recommend or use anyone that is not local in my area, personally. And there are a lot of options. In fact, there's I won't say the company's name, but there's a non-reselling accounting company online that keeps reaching out to me wanting to sponsor videos. And I'm like, absolutely not. I would never take money to say this is a good option. But that's just me. And yeah. And at some point, my dad's going to stop doing them. So what will I do to find someone in my area? I will go to a couple small local businesses. I will ask them who they use locally. And which one is this? This is P. And I would call it a day. P. It sounded odd, but whatever. Wow, we might almost be done with this whole wall over here. I'm so excited. This is like one of those tedious projects that I never want to do, but these are so much more sturdy. Oh, except this, as I say that, a part falls off. Oh my gosh. It's probably because I'm throwing things around. Come on. Also, these are pre-owned. I got these free from a family member, so they're not brand new. All right, which one is this? Q? Q. So let's see. Another exciting thing is I think I'm going to finish my fence this year. So I wanted to do a fence around the majority of my flat part of my property. I do have part of the cliffside as well. And I did 3/4 of the fence. It's expensive. Wood, hog wire, good materials, treated wood. Oh my gosh, it's expensive. Anyways, but then the last side, which is the longest side, my property line is basically where the original owner of this house decided to plant trees on the property line. And so I was going to have someone come out here and survey to see if maybe I could do it on the other side of the trees, and my neighbors wouldn't care they're all great around here. But if they moved or something, you just don't want to be on someone else's property line. And, you know, in rural areas, everyone, like I've got 2 acres, they have 2 acres, they have 5 acres. So we all have space, but every little bit counts to a degree. So, okay. This is, so anyways, I finally came to the conclusion that it's not worth it. I'm just going to do the fence on this side of the trees. And my fence guy, I called him up and said, hey, next time you're in my neighborhood, can you hop by? Oh, geez. So hard to pull those out. Jeez Louise. Can you pop by and give me an estimate? I am going to do one slightly different thing on that side, which hopefully should make it a little more affordable. I'm sure I'll show it at some point on Instagram or something when it's done. But my dog has been tied up for years. And if I can just finish that one side and keep my front gate closed, she can run around on over an acre of flat land. And if you know the dog, she has a lot of energy. She needs to run around. She drives me crazy. All right. All we need now is more of these stickers. I did already make some of the bins on the very far side, but I didn't mark them. So, whew. Which one is this? R. Like the pirate. R. Isn't that what they do? I don't know. Anyways, so I'm really excited about the fence potentially getting finished. Boo, how you doing over there? She's sitting over here. I have a old horse piece of metal in the ground, and so when I'm not over on that side of my property and I'm over here, I move her leash over here. So someday she will not have to be on a leash on this property. Some people ask, well, can't you let her off leash? This dog, she loves to go visit the neighbors. If she gets off her leash, she goes on a cul-de-sac tour. That's what I call it. Okay, this is R, right? I hope that's right. I really hope I'm not messing this stuff up. So, the fence will be really exciting. Hopefully that can be done in the next month or 2. He's pretty busy, so, but at least get the estimate so then I can just plan for how much do I need. Also pay for taxes. Oh, geez, it just never ends. It's these moments that I wish I had a second income at this house. What else? I'm thinking about having an extra sale this year. Okay, we just did R, S, T, U, V, W, X. I think that's it. That's that last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm turning 40 in April, which is not a big deal, but it's a big birthday and I'm excited about it. And I thought I'm going to go on a little road trip with the dog somewhere I've never been, bucket list. I will share that on my second channel. But I thought, why not celebrate with you guys and have a buy one, get one free sale in April? So I'm thinking maybe the first few days of April, run a BOGO sale. So you're hearing it here first now. I usually only have 2 sales every year. They're the same dates. I've had them since the beginning, and it's just kind of a thank you. Everything in the first few days of January and the first few days of July are everything's 50% off. And I don't share it on anything other than YouTube and Instagram. And it's just a thank you for watching. If you saw anything in any of my hauls and you want it for a good deal, send me the offer and I will accept. So I've got those 2 sales. This one, I'm just like, I'm turning 40. I want it to be fun and I don't need anything. Please don't send me anything. But I don't know. I just want it to be fun. Actually, I do have some thank yous. which I'll get to. The timer's about to go up. So we're gonna put these on and then we are gonna be done, and then we can take a break with the dog and chat for a few more minutes. But, oh no, does this mean I have to, okay, there we go, RST. I'm going a little over, which I think that's fine. RST U V W X Y Z. Is that the alphabet? Oh man. Okay, V. All right. Well, one whole side. These are need to go in inventory. These are just extra, not part of the wall. All right. So I'm gonna clean up in a little bit. Let's go get the dog, have a sip, chill a little bit, and keep chatting. And I'll share more about the sale. What do you think, Bill? Huh? Did I get some stuff done today? I still have more bins to go, right? Did you spend a lot of time today outside? And tomorrow it's going to be too cold, so you're going to be inside more? All right, this is editing Courtney, and for some reason I spaced and completely forgot when I was moving from the shed inside to start this little break off as a thank you to anyone who bought me a coffee. There are 4 people who bought me coffees recently. And it was 2 people that emailed me and asked why I didn't use the Buy Me a Coffee link. So I finally added one 2 weeks ago and 4 people used it. It's just in my description. You definitely don't have to buy me one, but I wanted to thank the 4 people that had purchased a coffee for me. And technically you just bought Luna treats. So I thought I would show you Luna's favorite treats are these little chicken tender, kind of dried chicken. You know, dog food is always exciting. But anyways, so Luna says thank you for her treats. Kim from Portland actually bought me 3 coffees, I believe. And that was so amazing. Sergio, I think, I didn't get an exact name, but bought me a coffee. Laura bought me a coffee, and then Susan bought me a coffee. And I just wanted to say thank you so much. I didn't know, those links are always a little awkward, but all the notes were really meaningful. And if you guys are learning anything as far as brands or just how I run things, especially with these Chatty Work With Me's, and you decide to use that link, Luna appreciates it, but I also am very thankful. So I just wanted to interrupt this to say thank you, and let's get back to the break. So anyways, what I was saying, I'm thinking about having a BOGO sale the first couple days of April. And I just want to get excited about this birthday. It's not a negative thing by any means. Most of my friends are in their 40s. And so, I'm excited for it. But I also, want to make sure that I've got some fun stuff planned. And I thought an extra sale would be kind of fun to do. Right, Bill? No. So I will share that on here and on Instagram when that goes live. So the other big update is my garden. So my garden has been my biggest struggle of living here, because when I left San Francisco and I kind of had it in my mind that I just want to move somewhere out of the city. I want to have a dog, right? I got you in San Francisco, and then I wanted you to have a yard, right? So I bought a house for you. I wanted a tomato plant. You want to shake? Good girl. Good girl. I don't have any treats for you, so I'm sorry. I wanted a dog, I wanted a tomato plant, and I just wanted a little home of my own with a little land. And I got all of that. The tomato plants have been the biggest struggle. The rodents here are the rodents everywhere I think are the worst, but the biggest rodents I was worried about when I first moved here was the deer and the elk, because it can get very dry for a number of months in California. We are the Golden State. And so because it's so dry, the deer and the elk start wanting to just eat anything green. And so when I created that side of the fence, I asked my fence guy, could he create a garden area? And it's kind of close to my kitchen, so it's kind of easy to go snip some herbs, and it's a good size. It's like 10 by 10 or 10 by 12 or something like that. Anyways, so I was so excited. I got weed paper to put on the bottom. I put pea gravel on top. I started with just big pots, and that was just how I was going to start. And I bought a whole bunch of plants, like little baby plants. I planted them. herbs. I was so excited. I put bird netting on top of my fence so the birds wouldn't come. The only thing I didn't account for were all the small critters crawling that could go through the fence or under the fence. And so, do you want to shake again? You want to shake again? Good girl. I know. Why are you sitting so weird? So anyways, the first year, all my plants were eaten before anything was really, had grown enough for me to consume. So I had zero harvest and I had spent all this money and I was heartbroken. And I also didn't know what it was. I just kind of was like, okay, is it what's coming in here? So the second year I wrapped the base with bricks and I put some, well, it was basically the same bird netting around the base. And what I didn't realize was that they would crawl under that and crawl up through the dirt and come in. So the second year was a bust. I had a few things harvest, like a few tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, but they would take some leaves and then they would take some of the little baby tomatoes or cherry tomatoes and they would take some peppers because I love peppers and I had a variety. And again, I spent all this money on these plants and just gone over time. I mean, it was like, it took maybe 3-4 weeks. And that year I actually put a drip system in. And by that, I mean, my dad put a drip system in and I helped because I didn't know what I was doing. They also chewed through the drip system. It was just terrible. So the third year was last year and I just wasn't in the mood for it. I still wasn't seeing my family regularly. So in the spring, I didn't feel comfortable asking my parents to come help me like with the garden area. And every winter it just becomes a hot mess because the winds and leaves and everything just blows in. So you just really have to go in and, restart. So I didn't do anything with it last year. And this year I was like, okay, I know it's still winter here. We can't really plant while we have hard freezes, like the summer vegetables. But I was going to go thrifting with my mom earlier this week. And I called her the night before and I said, instead of going thrifting, which, we go to the bins often, but instead of going to the bins, do you and Dad want to maybe come up here and help me with some of my garden stuff? Now, my dad currently has a bad shoulder, so he can't do too much heavy lifting, but basically I wanted to wrap my so it's rats, squirrels, and gophers that are able to get through the hog wire, are able to climb up the fence and down they're going crazy. And, so I want to rodent proof it. So I have hardware cloth that's very, very tiny that I'm wrapping all of the sides around. I'm putting the bird netting on top, which I have to take that down every year anyways, because the snow will just make it all collapse, which I've learned. But this is the secret weapon that my mom has talked to a couple nurseries about. So this is copper mesh. I don't think the brand matters. This is just from Amazon. So the goal here is that I have new weed stuff going on, more pea gravel going on the base. I've got galvanized steel raised beds this year, 3 of them. So that's going to be great. But this stuff is going to go all on the bottom under the pea gravel, and it's going to go up the sides a decent amount. So it will have it will have the hardware cloth, and it will have the bird netting on top. Basically, according to everyone that I've seen online talk about this, it is like these things won't be able to get through. And because this is a metal and the hardware cloth is a metal, they shouldn't be able to bite through it. So I am not going to do a drip system. I'm going to hand water this year because I just want to make sure that this works. We spent probably a half day working out there, but I was waiting for this to come in, so we couldn't finish the bottom. But we probably like 2-3 more work days out there, and it'll be rodent proof, and I'll have the galvanized steel tubs. They're like 6 feet long, 6 by 3, I think. Anyways, 3 of those. And I'll actually be able to plant some stuff this year. So I'm excited. I just want to plant stuff that I already buy at the grocery store, you know, tomatoes, multiple kinds. That's my favorite fruit. Cucumbers, love it. Peppers, all sorts. My favorite is shishito. What else? Radishes. I would love to do onions and some carrots. And I think I'm going to have enough space. I don't want to go overboard and make stuff like grow stuff that I'm not already currently buying. But if this works, then I can, after the summer season, plant some winter stuff that can hold up to the winters here. And so, you know, some kale, potatoes, some of those things that maybe aren't as green or as vibrant, but also have some herbs out there. So we will see. It's just a struggle because I really thought that the critters I was worried about in the beginning were the big critters. And really the biggest nightmare for me has been the smaller critters that can go through everything. So this is very, very fine copper mesh. The hardware cloth is very, very fine as well. That's been really hard to put up. Last year, 2 years, I tried to put it up by myself and it's really hard to cut. And it's also really like, it cuts up your hands. But I tried using a staple gun and then that didn't work. I tried using zip ties. The zip ties broke off because the sun would hit it and the plastic would just break. So this year we're using basically a wire that like twists. You can cut like a wire string and you can twist it on in different places. So it's time consuming. Fortunately, my parents are super helpful. And if it's nice weather, they're here to help. And as long as there's not too much heavy lifting. So I'm excited. I don't want some massive garden. It's not too big of a space, but I think for one person, I'd be able to give some to some neighbors and some friends, and have plenty of my own. And it's something that I've been wanting since I moved here. It's why I spent money to build a fenced garden area. And I just want to make it work. And I feel like, you know, there's a lot of things I can do on my own, but there are certain times I have to ask for help. And that's like the worst thing for me is asking for help. So, right, boo? But this is just one of those times where I just have to call up the parents and say, hey, can you come help? So that's basically it. I feel like that's really all the updates I have. Yoga's been really great. I've been doing at least 3 classes a week. I'd like to get up to 4 classes a week. When the weather starts getting nicer, I'll start being able to do a little bit of yoga stretching after my walks with the dog. I haven't been doing daily walks with her because of the weather, and every winter this happens. So we've started to go more morning walks, which is nice. She just really needs it so that she can just sleep most of the day and let me work. So I feel like I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I went live on Hope's Racks to Riches channel earlier this week. Was it Monday? I think it was Monday. Anyways, that was a lot of fun. We played trivia, and the first hour or so was trivia that was reselling related, and there was another reseller that created the questions, Heidi, and it was really interesting. It was a lot of fun. And then we moved to a game that was like semi-family friendly trivia questions, and then we switched to a game that was a little less family friendly, but it was still a lot of fun. I think we chatted for a couple hours. She's just such a good person and just such a character and a good friend. So if you haven't checked out her live, I'll link it below if I can remember, or her channel. Go give her a subscribe. And yeah, I've got some real estate stuff I need to do. I've been really slacking with that because I just don't have enough time in the day, but I do want to do some community videos. So yeah, that's basically it, I think. Right, Boo? What did you think of today? Did I play outside enough with you today? Probably not. Are we going to go for a WALK tomorrow morning? Early? Before it rains or snows or whatever's going to happen? I know. We'll put on the winter gear. Go for a walk. Whoops. Oh no. Whoops. I just teased her. I know. So I think that's pretty much it, right? Is that it? We need to make some dinner, warm something up. if you guys keep watching these videos, I will keep making them. You guys seem to leave positive feedback and I really appreciate it. So be sure to leave a comment down below on your thoughts on eBay, if you agree, disagree, if you like selling there, if you never want to sell there. Also, if you have any topics that you think you would want me to talk about in any future videos. There's so many topics and so many questions. So I'm just trying to find some that I'm asked about a lot. And that's it. That is time. So I will see you in the next video. Be sure to hit the thumbs up, right, boo? I know. We'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.